Hello and welcome, Dirty William here, back with another episode of Dungeons & Dragons Online Let's Play. As we look out over sunny Korthos and see the birdies flying, you'll notice you don't see my character. There's a reason for that. I will not be playing the pre-made fighter anymore, because it was awful. I have created a new character, the same server, same account, still don't have any packs yet. But the reason I did this is the other build, the pre-made fighter path, was just, it wasn't fun for me. I died quite a bit. I had to have a nanny bot following me around. It generally just wasn't fun, so that was the main reason why. Now, this build, the new build, is going to be a planned build. The pre-made path build was fine for learning some of the mechanics of the game, but it is not good in the long run, and I'll get more into that in just a moment. This new character is planned from the very beginning, meaning that the feats and skills are chosen ahead of time and will be a better character in the long run. As a first or second character, this will be a very good character, a lot better than the pre-made path. I learned the hard way how a bad, non-planned pre-made fighter can be, so don't do what I did. So let's look at the differences between the fighter and this new build. So mainly I'm looking at DPS, the utility, and the survivability of a character. The DPS is the damage per second. I kind of break that down into two things: damage output, which is the overall damage that you do, and damage throughput, which is sustainability of that damage. The damage output for both will be fine because they're both melee-based characters. Both will use weapons to do damage, and they both should do respectable damage. Now, the damage throughput should be also similar because that's just the sustainability issue. For example, if I was playing a wizard, my damage would be fine until I ran out of spell points. So my sustainability would not be very good. I would have to rest at a rest shrine, or I would have to drink a potion. I could do that, and I might do that in a future Let's Play, but for now I'm sticking with a melee type of character, something that someone could easily use as a first character, or even a second character in this game. The second topic that I'd like to talk about is utility. And first is like your role in the group. This character will be soloing. I doubt that I will group. But if I do, I have to think about, what do I do in the group? Well, the old character, the fighter character, let's look at DPS. Did it have good DPS? Yes, it did. Will this character have good DPS? Yes, it will. The old character, could it tank? Yes, it could, because it had heavy armor, it could use a shield, and because of that heavy armor, its PRR, or physical resistance rating, would be higher. Can this character tank? No, it will not have the skills to do that. What about crowd control? For example, a mass hold spell. No, neither one of these will have crowd control. Nuking? No, neither one of these characters is a nuker, because of the lack of spell points, or the lack of damaging spells in general. Can it be a good buffer for the party? Not really. The fighter had 0 ways to buff the party, but this character has just a handful of buffs. Could the character be a healer in a group? No, neither one could adequately perform the tasks of a healer. So the old character and the new character both do decent damage, but the old character could be a tank and this couldn't. So what am I bringing to the table? How can I help the party? This build will have full trap skills. It will be able to disarm traps, it will be able to unlock doors, and it will be able to find secret doors. The next issue is survivability of both builds. Could the fighter self-heal? Yes, any character can self-heal by using potions. This character, the new character, will be able to heal with potions and wands and also some spells. damage reduction and damage avoidance. The fighter had heavy armor and had very good physical resistance rating, or PRR. This new character will only use light armor, so the PRR will be lower. Saving throws. The fighter had horrible saving throws. Every trap that I ran through, I was hit and hurt. Spells would affect me, I think, more than this new build. Can I still be held and commanded by enemy casters on this new build? Yes, but I think my saving throws will be better than the pre-made fighter. Now the last one that I always think about is UMD. UMD stands for Use Magic Device. What that is your ability to bypass the class restrictions on some items, mainly scrolls. Scrolls can be used for any number of beneficial effects. The fighter could not do any scrolling at all, could not use scrolls. This new build will be able to use scrolls, mostly because of the UMD that it will have. It should have enough for invisibility, blur and displacement, raise dead, and eventually, probably level 18 or 20, it should be able to use heal scrolls. So let's take a look at the build and see what kind of character I'll be playing from now on. Introducing the generic B build. And the only reason I call that the generic B build is because he's kind of sneaky like generic B. And I thought, you know, I used BOO before, so I better be using some generic B stuff and keep the B team together. What this build is 18 Ranger, 1 Rogue, and 1 Fighter. Okay? This is called a Tempest Trapmonkey. The build is down in the links description. I'll probably throw it up on the screen here as well so that you can take a look at it. I used this build for a life on my main character, and I was very surprised at how good it was. It did good damage. It had good saving throws. I was able to do any trap in the game that I needed to. I was able to find secret doors, just all the candy. And I think it's a really good build for a free-to-play player, so I'm kind of putting my money where my mouth is and trying that out here. Can I make this thing work? Yes, I probably can. I think anybody can. So, going over the build is going to be a lengthy process, so I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. At character creation, you're going to take your first level, and it's going to be Rogue. The second and third levels are going to be Ranger levels. The fourth level is a Fighter level, and you'll get a bonus feat, and you're going to use that for the khopesh proficiency. Khopesh is a one-handed weapon, but they do very, very good damage, very high crit on those. You can use anything with this build if you want, though. If you don't have any good khopeshes, use a scimitar, use a longsword, use a dagger if you want to. Any kind of slashing weapon I think would be fine. Levels 5 to 20, you will go back to Ranger. So at the end of it, you'll have an 18 Ranger, 1 Rogue, and 1 Fighter. Now, as far as abilities go, your strength will be set on a 28-point character as 16. Dexterity is 14, Constitution is 14, Intelligence is 14, and Wisdom and Charisma will be 8. The reason behind this is strength is your primary stat because you're a melee character and want to do damage. Dexterity will help you with any type of evasion that you have. It will help out your evasion score. Constitution, that's your hit points, and you don't want to die, so you need that pretty high. Intelligence is 14 because this will help your rogue skills. You're searching for traps, you're disabling traps. Wisdom will affect your spell points, but I think there are enough spell point items in the game that you should be fine. Now, one caveat to this is you have to have a wisdom score of 10 plus the spell level that you tried to cast, or else you can't cast it. This wisdom is 8. There are no tomes on this character, so I will have to have a +3 item by, I believe it is level 6. I'll have to check on that and see. I'll have to have a +3 item by level 6, or I will not be able to cast spells. The Charisma, that affects UMD, but we're not too worried about that. We can get by. Now, the skills that we're going to be putting points into, the main ones are Concentration, Search, Spot, Disable Device, UMD, and Open Lock. Now the footage here, you're going to see me blow this trap box bigger than anything. Why? Because I don't have very good gear right now, and this was on Elite. So don't take this as an example of, you know, how this build is going to go. Just because I rolled poorly and don't have good gear for this Elite quest, this is still a very good build. You'll also put some points into Jump, I think some into Swim, and some into, I think 1 point into Tumble. For feats, at the end, at level 20, you should have Power Attack, the least Dragonmark of Passage, which will help you get back and forth between quests more easily and allow you to cast a Dimension Door, Exotic Weapon Proficiency khopesh, Great Cleave, Improve Critical Slashing, Empower Healing Spell, Dodge, and Precision. They say that Fury of the Wild is recommended for the Epic Destiny, and as far as the enhancements go, I'll have you guys take a look at that. Down in the description is the build link, so take a look at those and just follow the plan, basically. Alright, we are back at the class trainer, getting ready to level up to level 3. We're going to advance to the next level over as a ranger. Skills, we're going to put 1 point into Concentration, 1 point into Disable Device. Now, actually it's going to be 2 points that we'll spend, but we only get 1 modifier point. That's because it is a cross-class skill, and it costs twice as much to train those, because Rangers do not get Disable Device as a normal skill. But since we have the Rogue level, we are able to actually train that. Next is Open Lock, which is somewhere. There we go. Again, this will take 2 points, but it will give us just 1 point of a total modifier. Search. Search and Spot will get 1 point. These are not cross-class. They are inherent to skills of a ranger, so just 1 point in those. And the last one will be Use Magic Device. This is a cross-class, so it will take our last 2 points. We'll go to next. These are things that we receive. Rapid Shot. You can fire ranged attacks faster and reload faster when using a ranged weapon. That means it's going to help out when we try to range something with a bow and arrow. 2-weapon fighting. Rangers get the full 2-weapon fighting feat line free. That means if you splash 6 levels of Ranger onto a build, you automatically receive the 2-weapon fighting. Notice it says requires Dexterity 15. It doesn't matter, because if you're a Ranger at level 2 of a Ranger, you receive 2-weapon fighting. So we're all good there. Next is Wilderness Lore. There are some things in the game that affect when you speak with an NPC. You might be able to use these skills to get different dialogue options. Let's see. The skill, or feat rather, that we're going to take is Cleave. Going to go to next. And we see the breakdown of what we've done. We'll get 10 more hit points. Our base attack bonus, or BAB, will go from +1 to +2. Fortitude save will go from +2 to +3. And Reflex save will go up a point from 4 to 5. We see we get Rapid Shot, 2-weapon fighting, and the Wilderness Lore. We chose the feat, which is Cleave. These are what our skills went into, so we'll click Finish. And we're all good. Now, apparently I had spent a point that I didn't realize. I spent one of my action points. So what I'm going to do is go into this, and we'll see what... I think I spend it in the Deepwood Sniper area. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Empathetic Healing 1. No. That's... we're still in the level 2 things. Increased Empathy 1. We have that. I think that's what I spent it on. Increased Empathy 2. And Increased Empathy 3. Now we're going to choose Versatile Empathy, which will also increase our positive spell power. Next level, we'll put this into 2 points into Empathetic healing. That will be all of our 4 points. What that does is like a healing over time type of thing, which I found very useful at the lower levels and saved a lot on healing potions. Also, sometimes it's just easier to grab a hireling, a cleric hireling, and just go through the quests and let them heal you. Now, in some levels, like whenever I got to level 7 with my pre-made fighter, the hireling couldn't keep up with the healing, not because I was taking so much damage, but because the hirelings are sometimes buggy and they don't do what they're told. I can tell them to defend me. Instead, they would run off and start fighting monsters and just pull too many monsters to the area. And in hard and elite quests, it was rough. So what we'll do next time is we'll put the 2 points into this, and that will give us a little bit better healing. So we'll click accept and close. Now, next level, we're going to be taking a level of fighter. And the reason we're going to take that is for a bonus feat that a fighter gets, and we're going to take exotic weapon proficiency khopesh. So that will be another splash, a character or class splash on this character, but from there on it will be complete and total ranger. So between now and level 4, let me pull this up. This is the quest list. This is what I've done so far on normal, hard, and elite. It's just the level 1s. I am now level 3. I can do level 2s and not get any experience point hit. It's not really that big of a deal, at least to me. Now, if you're trying to zerg things and level up as quickly as possible, put up an LFM, a looking for group, and group with people. This is a solo thing. It's a hermit. He's going to go solo. So that's the reason why I went with this build. I think in the long run it will work a lot better. But as far as favor goes, and XP, I'm going to try as hard as I can to do all of the quests on normal, hard, and elite, just to maximize my favor and get more turbine points. A quick note, I'll bring up the store and show you. Somebody just leveled up, good job. If we go into account, adventures, and let's say I wanted to buy a low-level pack. Let's find out what the low-level packs are. We can sort by the lowest cost first. The lowest cost one is Chanticleer, which I really love Chanticleer. It is 4 adventures, 4 quests basically, and it is, in my opinion, it's very fun. And that's only 250 turbine points. But there are so many free quests available at lower levels. It's really, it makes no sense if you're just starting off to spend the turbine points on something like this. What I'm going to try to do, and I hope I can pull it off, what I would like to get is either the Ruins of Giant Hold, which is level 13 to 14, plus it has an epic component, or the Veil of Twilight for 850 points. The Ruins of Giant Hold has tons of quests. It's an adventure area, a wilderness area, so you can do some slayers out there, find different points of interest for more XP. The Veil of Twilight, it's base level 16. I think that's when problems will start happening, when I can't run the quest, because they're like after level 15 or so, there's so few quests for free to play. You really have to grind these lower levels out. Bank your XP, which means don't take the level as soon as you get the XP, but save that and bank it until you absolutely have to take the level. And that's, again, something I will end up having to do with this free-to-play account, because at a certain level in the game, you won't have the quest to run. It's all pay. You have to pay for them. So, to avoid that, what I'm going to try to do is save the points up and get the Veil of Twilight, which you can make some really good gear out there. There's a raid, it's a wilderness area, so you can just run around and kill things. It's a very interesting lore. So it's either of these two, either the Ruins of Giant Hold or the Veil of Twilight. The Ruins of Giant Hold has an epic component, so once I reach level 20, I can run epics out there, which I think they're level 23 or 24 base. Or I can go with the Veil of Twilight and grind out some cool gear that I could use multiple, multiple lives if I wanted to, get hit points, spell points, extra everything, different weapons. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure if I can pull it off. It will take some grind, but this series is supposed to be about that. It's kind of showing off the grind, what I did to achieve that from a free-to-play perspective. So, until next time, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.